Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Well, we have a big weekend coming up.
We have a big weekend coming along.
It is.
Sure.
It's episode 2 of The Younger You with Troy Thompson. Now, coming up in this episode, you're going to follow Kelly as she replaces her saline breast implants with silicone ones. And Shelby gets the infamous Brazilian butt lift.
The KKW butt lift.
The
Kim
KKW.
Kardashian West butt lift.
She has not admitted to this.
Oh, she has what we do in this show.
All right,
Trust me.
Let's take a look.
A Brazilian butt lift mainly is you're removing fat from some part of your body and reshaping your buttocks.
Also, we're using our own fat.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Well, then why am I a little bit thrown when I know that people have butt implants? Does that do the same thing?
Well, buttocks implants can accomplish some of it,
Ah,
but they're generally reserved for people who really don't have any fat.
got you. So are we talking about a fat transfer?
You know, traditionally we think that all you have to do is to add volume to your buttocks and it gets better, and very similar to breast implants for your breast, for example. Well, in the buttocks it's a little bit different because there's a tremendous advantage to improve the shape around the buttocks.
Yes.
And that's done primarily by removing fat
Right.
and then replacing them in places where you want it.
Growing up, I have a really large family, but they're all very tiny, very small, including my mom. And I grew up looking at her thinking, you know, she was the most, beautiful woman I've ever seen. But I could see when she looked at herself, she wasn't happy. She was either, not skinny enough or not pretty enough or too old or something, and I don't want my daughter to see me look at myself like that. I want her to grow up loving herself. I feel like in my head, I'm just in the wrong body right now. I want to feel like I do on the inside. I want to project that on. I want to see that on the outside.
I'm having my saline implants replaced with silicone implants. It's hard to go from having an ample chest to not having it anymore, so I just wanted to be back to where I was before I had kids. The reason that I would like to switch to silicone now is that saline ones, they kind of get where they dense or they shrink a little bit. They don't feel as natural as silicone. I can feel the ripples in the side of them. I can feel the seam on the side of the implants.
She had saline breast implants that were placed many years ago.
Okay.
I elected to place silicone breast implants in her. The reason why she changed hers was she primarily didn't like, number one, the position of it, and number two, she was able to feel the saline breast implants.
Okay.
So one of the disadvantages of using saline breast implants is that you're more likely to feel the edges of the implant.
Oh.
And silicone tends to decrease that. I think that we can put to rest about the issues with silicone.
Yeah.
So they're both safe, extremely safe.
I want to just touch on very briefly, because there's been a lot of conversation when people say, I've wanted to take out my silicone implants because they're dangerous. What do you have to say about that?
Well, first of all, the silicone breast implants that we're using today are different than the ones that were placed 30 years ago.
Okay.
Okay. They're much more sticky, meaning they're cohesive. They want to stay within itself. So even if you cut these implants in half, the silicone material will stay in the implant. So obviously implants don't get cut in half. The shell may break or tear, and so the silicone material actually stays within the breast implant today.
Exciting stuff.
It is, and you know what? We did two procedures, I should say, for this episode, because, as important as the conversation was about the Brazilian butt lift and seeing the before and afters, I wanted to have that conversation about saline versus silicone, because there have been conversations out there saying that either one was bad for you, and I just wanted to show the audience of what was possible.
Well, I believe for a short time frame, the silicone were not allowed. They cut them doing that and then brought them back and said they were okay.
I'm not completely sure on that part, but what I do know is that they're a much more safer product now. And as you could see, he was explaining, Dr. Masaguchi, even when you cut them in half, they no longer leak. So that's the best thing about it.
The Brazilian butt lift, so you show from the beginning
Oh
to the
yeah,
end?
yeah, everything. The whole liposuction, re-injecting the fat into her buttocks. It's quite amazing.
It's intense. And you're still claiming that Kim Kardashian has it.
Totally.
Do all the sisters?
I think Chloe might. I don't think Courtney does. But totally, Kim Kardashian totally has it done. Those hips are getting bigger, and she's getting thinner up here. Like it's injections.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
We trust you.
Hey, if you want to watch this show, it's of course tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on ABC right here, and a repeat at 10:30 p.m. on MyKY the following Wednesday. Of course, you can go online at theyongeryou.tv as well.